Well, at the Labour Party conference here in Liverpool, Sir Keir Starmer has delivered his speech. It lasted about an hour. He covered a fair bit of ground, a little bit of new policy, but a lot about tone, talking about national renewal, but also the trade-offs that would have to come. To get some reaction now, we can talk to Sharon, who is the General Secretary of the Unite Union. Thank you very much for joining us. You have raised some concerns about the economic and policy direction of the Labour Party, the Labour government, I should say. What did you think of Sir Keir Starmer's speech?
Well, look, I thought it was a historic moment. It's been 15 years since we've had a Labour Prime Minister address the Labour Party conference, and he certainly said some good things about workers' rights, etc. But I was disappointed that he didn't address the winter fuel allowance properly. That is a cruel policy and it does need to be removed. And I also wanted to hear much more on investment for jobs. And there are a lot of jobs that are going. We do not want working class wastelands, and I wanted to see where the money's coming from for those jobs.
On winter fuel specifically, he actually said he was prepared to take unpopular decisions. You'd been pushing for a vote, a high-profile vote on this at the conference. It's now going to be at the tail end of conference. Do you think this is a Labour Party, a Labour government, a Labour Prime Minister that's prepared to listen to its critics?
Well, look, he had said before that he wouldn't rule out austerity, and yesterday Rachel Reeves and he today ruled out austerity, so I hope they mean what they say on that. They also said that they were keeping to the fiscal rules. It seems today there might be a softening because they're talking about borrowing to invest. Look, I think out there in the real world, we're in a little bit of a bubble in this, where we are at the moment. Out there in the real world, people are really concerned about winter fuel. Winter's coming towards us. We don't need story after story of pensioners getting ill or worse. They're going to have to reverse it.
You're right about austerity. We heard it from Sir Keir Starmer, repeating what the Chancellor had said yesterday, no return to austerity. But they are also sounding warning bells about the public finances ahead of the budget on October the 30th. Is it enough, do you think, to say no return to austerity? And what do you want to see from the government that would convince you that that is a genuine commitment?
Well, look, they can't do any cuts. We cannot have everyday people paying again. They paid for the financial crash and they're now paying for COVID. Everyday people cannot pay again. How have we got a situation where the 50 richest families in Britain are worth £500 billion and we've chosen to pick the pocket of pensioners? If they make different choices, we'll all see that austerity doesn't exist.
You've already mentioned it, but this is the first Labour Prime Minister in 15 years. There have been some bumps around this conference, briefings about Downing Street, questions about freebies, contention over the winter fuel payment. How do you think Sir Keir Starmer's doing as Prime Minister?
Well, look, I think could do better, I probably would say, just in his first moments. But leadership is about listening. It's about changing direction when you need to change direction and doing that very quickly. I think he's got good intent. I believe that he wants to do good things, but this is going to take more than better management. Britain does not need just to be under new management, it needs a vision. And I would like to see them have the sort of vision we had in 1945. That's what they should be channeling right now.
And when he talks about his vision being a decade of national renewal, that's not convincing enough for you then, from what you're saying?
Well, I think we need to understand what that means. What does national renewal mean? I mean, I don't actually know what we mean by that. What actually we need to look for is money for investment in jobs. We need to make sure that everyday people are not paying the price for another crisis that they did not create. People will be able to feel a change. They shouldn't have to be told about a change. When people start to feel it, then we know who's doing a good job.
Sharon, thank you very much for joining us. Sharon, the General Secretary of Unite the Union there.